Today I'm going to give you everything you need to absolutely kill it in a negotiation. Let's dive into it. I am Scott Duke. This is the Happy Dealmaker channel. On this channel, we empower entrepreneurs to build companies that are sellable. If that sounds like something that would be useful to you, don't forget, like and subscribe. I put a video like this out every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, this is actually the second time I'm filming this. This is proving to be exceedingly difficult to get the amount of information out that I need to relay to you guys how to be successful in a negotiation. It turns out there's a lot of nuance to it. And maybe that's why it's a skill set that takes a while to develop over time. So what I'm gonna do in this video is I'm gonna give you the 3 steps, okay? Like 3. And what to do in each of those 3 steps at a high level. And then I'll give you more resources to go to if you wanna dig deeper in each one of those steps. And I think that's the best way to do it, because I actually just filmed a video and the video was like pushing 35 minutes. I'm like, okay, nobody is gonna watch this. It's gonna be way too long. So these are the big 3 steps, okay? So the first one is you basically have pre-offer. Okay, this is before you have any offers coming in. Then you have the offer stage. And then we have post-offer. Okay? After the offer's been accepted, that kind of thing. So, and I don't care what you're selling. I don't care what you're negotiating over. These are all gonna exist, right? So in the pre-offer, this is the one takeaway that I want you guys to pick up here, is that the more questions you can ask on the first phone call or the first interaction you have with somebody is going to set you up for absolute success. And there's a reason why this is. On the first phone call that you have with somebody, that phone call, they are wanting to build rapport because it's human nature. They want a friendly conversation, okay? And they aren't thinking about negotiation at that point. They're mostly calling you at that point to get further information. That's why they're calling. It's like, they want to buy a car off of you, you've listed your RV, you've listed a boat online, you've listed your business. That first communication that you're having with somebody, they are mostly calling to gather more information and make the decision if this is something that they would even want to make an offer on. So this is the perfect opportunity for you to get more information from them on what desire they are trying to satisfy. So as they ask questions of you, you can then float questions back to them that are going to help you later on in the negotiation. And these questions are things like, what are you expecting to pay for when you purchase a business? How are you expecting to fund this? If it's the RV that they're purchasing, it's where are you planning on going with the RV, right? You're trying to figure out, like, are they doing short trips with this thing? Are they doing long trips? Is this something that you're gonna be using with your family? So is it family? Is it by themselves? Like, you're learning as much as you possibly can. As they're learning about the item that you're selling, you are working on learning about their desires. What is it that they actually desire from acquiring this particular business, vehicle, truck, RV, boat, whatever it is that you're negotiating over, okay? And the more questions you can ask here, the better off you're gonna be further down the road to negotiate, because you are going to know exactly what the motivations are of the buyer, why they're motivated to purchase this particular thing. So my suggestion is, what you do is you sit down before you post whatever it is online that you're wanting to sell, right? And that you're gonna be negotiating with on later. And then you sit down and on a piece of paper, take 15 minutes and write down all the questions that you feel, if these questions were answered, then you would have the exact arsenal that you need to have a perfect negotiation. So if you knew exactly when they wanted to acquire this particular thing they were looking at purchasing, exactly what they were gonna do with it after, exactly what they were wanting to pay for this, exactly how it was going to make them feel in their life, you have everything you need to structure a perfect negotiation in the future. Now, I said I'd give you the tools to go deeper. So this book right here called Spin Selling, if it's by Neil Rackman, and it's an older book, but it talks about question-based selling, and that's really what needs to happen in this pre-offer phase. Do not miss this opportunity. Like that first phone call you have with them, this is the opportunity you have to find out exactly why they're wanting to acquire whatever it is they're looking to acquire. And that is going to give you so much leverage later on when you're in the negotiation. So if you're like, I don't know how to put these questions together, then get this book. It's probably 15 bucks, I don't know. And it's gonna teach you how to frame those questions, right? But to be honest with you, I think if you sit down, take 15 minutes, and put a list of questions of if you had the answers to those, you would be able to nail it in a negotiation. Then you can frame those questions in a way that first phone call, they do not come off as confrontational. They're very low key and you're just kind of asking them in a low key way while also reciprocating and giving answers back to the questions that they're asking. You're gonna be in a killer spot. So I guess right here, it's during that pre-offer, it's ask questions to understand desire. Okay, what is it that they actually desire? So that's step one. Now, step number two, you're in the offer phase, right? So at some point, somebody's gonna have to make an offer on this particular item that's looking to be purchased. And the tip here is you want the other side to make the first offer. So other side offers first. Okay? Because you want to know where they sit. Like for instance, I was selling an RV about a year and a half ago now. And I posted it online for $15,000. It's a used RV. And I wanted to get from it 13, I was happy with 13, I'd probably be happy with 12 because I bought it for 11, right? Now, if I post it for 15 and then someone comes along and I make the first offer and they ask, hey, what are you trying to get out of it? Like, what do you want to sell the RV for? Like, what's the lowest offer you would take? I'm like, I might say 11,500. Okay, well, if that's where I start, I'm toast. Like they're gonna work me down. If they know my lowest is 11, they're 11.5, they're probably gonna push me down to 11. They're probably gonna try and get down to 10.5. Where if I just say, I don't know what I want on this. I posted it for 15. What are you looking to pay? They might come back and say, 13.5. Right then I'm already doing better than what my lowest was, right? So that's why you want the other side to offer first, because there is this off chance that you actually might end up doing better right out of the gates on that first offer. So that's kind of number one here in the offer. Number two is that if you're making the offer, you want to make it as high or as low, depending what side you're offering. If you're the buyer, you want to make it as low. If you're the seller, you want to make that offer as high as you possibly can, because it gives you that wiggle room to negotiate. And so it's like offer on high or low end of spectrum. All right, and the other tip I'm gonna give you in the negotiation section is you need to keep the amygdala, which is a part of our brain, calm, so that the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of our brain that makes us human, activated. And I could dive deep into this, but you could probably type into Google the neuroscience of negotiation, and it'll probably give you some more information on this. And I'll actually put a link, because Oren Clough has a really good interview on a YouTube video that talks about this. But if you can keep the other side's brain calm in the negotiation, you're going to be able to have an open discourse. If you trigger the fight or flight response with them, it's going to basically kill your negotiation. So you want to keep everyone's amygdala calm. And there's a few ways of doing this. And Chris Voss also talks to this as well in his book, Never Split the Difference. I'll give you a link to that also because it's super valuable. So what you want to do is keep calm, okay? And how this ties back to offering high and low is that when you offer somebody that they're an offer that they aren't expecting, it's going to trigger their amygdala. They're going to get upset. It's going to make your negotiation that much harder. But if you keep their amygdala calm by using this tip, where you pre-alert them to bad news coming. So if I'm going to, let's say the first negotiation, let's go back to our RV. So our RV that I posted for $15,000, that first offer comes in at 11. I have the option there of being upset. I could go, ugh, I hate this buyer. Why would he offer, $4,000 less than what I posted it for? Or I could just keep calm and go, okay, 11. Would you be comfortable making a counter offer? And they're gonna go, yeah. I'm like, I'm also worried the counter offer is maybe gonna upset you a little bit. And they're gonna go, okay, but they're still gonna wait for that offer. And then I can make an offer and I can go, what about 14.5? And they knew that the counter offer was gonna upset them. I pre-warned them that information was coming, and that helps them know that they are going to be a little bit upset, which alerts the amygdala, which keeps it calm and can keep the negotiation flowing. So then I basically controlled their emotional state. They're not going to be, they knew that a high offer was going to be coming back to them, so they're not going to be too upset, but it's going to peg the offer back where it should be, back to closer to that 15, right? And it's all about like anchoring these offers back to where you kind of want them to be. So then it goes to 14.5, then they come back at like 12 something, and then you go right back to 14 and like anchors it back high again. And then you end up probably getting this negotiation somewhere around that 13.5, and boom, you're happy, right? But the key here is do not get sucked in. Do not get sucked into an emotional state where when they give you a lower offer, you're upset. Do not get sucked in. Keep your calm, keep your cool, keep rational, and then just peg it back to where it should be, okay? But to peg it and to make sure that they don't get upset when you peg it back high, you need to ensure that you pre-warn them that you're gonna peg it high. So you ask for their permission. You're like, are you okay if I give a counter offer? They say yes. Okay, now you've gotten permission. And you say, I'm worried that this counter offer is gonna upset you. And then so they know they're gonna be prepared that it's gonna go high. Then you, boom, you peg it back up high, okay? You wanna dig deeper into that one, go buy Chris Voss's book, Never Split the Difference. It is a beast on negotiation, and that's gonna explain a little bit more of the neuroscience there, and it's also gonna allow you to keep your offers higher. But these are the big things. Make sure the other person offers first, then peg back to the high, or if you're on the other side, be pegging to the low, and be making sure that you're keeping them calm by controlling their emotions, by ensuring their amygdala doesn't fire off, by pre-warning them of what's upcoming in the negotiation. Okay, so that's your offer. So now you've gotten to the point where you have gotten through the offer, there's some agreement, and then in the post offer, and this doesn't always happen, especially if you're selling like a vehicle or things like that, you don't really have to worry too much about it because you do your offer, you exchange your cash, and away they go with kind of their used vehicle. But if you're dealing with a business, sometimes these things come up because you go into a due diligence process, and there ends up being like a post offer where the offer ends up being altered. So the only tip that I have here is just anticipate it. Like anticipate that whatever you do here in this stage, it could potentially change, all right? And just don't get flustered by it, all right? Because you can always work to bringing it back, but what you don't wanna do is let your emotions run wild and get pissed off at the other side and kill your own deal, right? So you've got a really good offer right here. During the post offer, something comes up in due diligence. Just the only thing I can say here is keep rational, all right? Keep calm and start renegotiation. Which literally brings you right back to this up to here, right? Where you're asking questions again to figure out, okay, what is it that's changed, and are their desires still the same, and can we still keep this thing on the rails? But just know, like, this sometimes happens in deals. So just keep rational about it, keep calm, go back into the renegotiation, and just start the process again with the goal of getting back to exactly where you were before. Okay, so this is. Oh man, I could go on with negotiation all day long. It is probably the most exciting part of selling anything is when you get into that negotiation phase. But here's some high level stuff, right? Again, I'll put the links below to the other things that I spoke about, the other books and the other resources. But if you can walk away from this video and go, I should be starting my negotiation before I ever get into negotiation, because here's the opportunity that I have up here in this pre-offer that I can elicit all the information from the other side before any of their walls are put up. This is where to do it, okay? And that's kind of the one thing that I hope you guys can take away from this video. All right, I said this was gonna be a little bit longer one. The negotiation, it's a little bit more complex for sure, but hope you liked the video. If this was valuable, don't forget, like and subscribe. I put a video like this every Tuesday and Thursday, and always remember, every business is sellable.